Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Metaworld News. This is the news program where we bring you highlights of activities in immersive spaces, a bit of the old haptic VR tech, and but touching on virtuality, but mostly virtual worlds and immersive spaces online. And of course, like the rest of the world, we're all in lockdown. Right? So we're making the best of coming on air and chatting away and things like that. So much so that James here and I have been talking for a full hour when we should have been on air. But since most of you watch this in replay, I doubt if you really give a damn. So there.
Right. True that.
Yeah, truth be told. Okay, anyway, I am Mal Burns. MAL is one word and BURNS is the other word. But you've got to squash it together to find me on Twitter, where I am twitter.com/. Malburns, Malburns, all one word. Yes, indeed. And we have an additional Twitter feed, which is twitter.com/Metaworld News. Again, two words squashed into one. And the latter is the lesser used one, which is basically devoted to immersive spaces and virtual spaces online. Whereas my feed is much more general in its scope. Very wide ranging is my feed, sort of, but not totally. Right. I'm joined in the studio here too by James Outloud. Hello, James.
Well, hello, Mal. Happy Sunday to you.
And a happy Sunday to you. And a final conversation we had, didn't we?
Yeah, it was.
Before we even got round to, are we meant to be doing a program? Um, yes, I think
Ostensibly.
we were an
Hmm.
hour ago. Yeah. Anyway, James is doing a fine job here too because he's twiddling knobs. Virtually, of course. Well, but in the real world, he's pressing buttons as well. He's mixing a stream from my desktop with the stream from Kitely, which is the virtual world where this particular version of our studio is, and mixing the audio into the visuals and doing all sorts of technical stuff. Um, which leaves me free to just rabbit at the camera.
All right.
Yes. All right. Yeah,
I
that's what it's
don't
all about.
think I heard the date. I
You
don't know if you
didn't?
were getting to that yet or not.
Yeah, I need to do that. Just thank you.
Yep.
Yes. I've exhausted myself before I started, haven't I?
I know.
Yes, indeed. It is the 19th of April of the year 2020. Although I wonder if in a few years' time it will be the year, I don't know, let's say in 10 years' time it will be the year 8. And it will be, instead of BC or AD, it will be AP for after pandemic.
Oh, right.
So we can finally
We
kick out
just
that
we don't
Christianist
know.
calendar we can kick out that Christianist calendar once and for all.
The future is not written.
The future is not written, exactly. I mean, we may need to start measuring the days, our time on Earth, by the number of days since we almost wiped ourselves out.
Yeah.
Isn't it wonderful to be optimistic?
Yes.
Let's get on with our actual news. Right, yeah, we've had enough of that binary tunnel, I think. I'm going to click away here and we'll see the first post that I'm going to be talking about today. This is interesting. This is one of those Twitter people I follow just because they relate to virtual and things. A chap called John Coetzee, I think that's how you pronounce him.
Etsy,
This
yeah.
post only came up this week, even though it's 3 weeks old. And the site is JOHNKOETSIER.com. And the title of the post, as you can see there, is 10 Reasons Virtual Events Will Fail. Now, I was talking about optimism a minute ago and pessimism and all the rest of it. That might sound like a very pessimistic title, but it's not. This chap speaks at a lot of conferences, but not since I'm trying to think of a quick name for coronavirus. We've got to find one day. Well, I was recently invited to Adobe's new virtual summit and asked to MC part of the up and coming Mobile Growth Summit, which is a worldwide virtual or digital conference. So he's been thinking about what might work and what might not. Every conference is trying to reinvent itself as a digital event right now, and most will fail. Most of those that fail will fail because they try to do on a digital platform what already wasn't working all that well, even in the physical space. And hence, the blog is a few cautions. Now, really, only if you're actually thinking of doing a virtual event, and by that it could be in a virtual world like Second Life or OpenSim, or indeed it could people even call webcam conferences virtual events these days. So amongst the other things that are getting turned upside down by the current state of affairs is terminology, actually. But anyway, it's a list of cautions, and it's basically saying don't do this if you want to succeed. So virtual events will fail if, and then one, if two. So it's an educational thing, really. It's not saying virtual events are a failure. It's saying that it's giving you the things to avoid to make sure that your virtual event is not a failure. So very interesting. Anybody who puts on events in Second Life, OpenSim, or Endgame, or any of the other platforms, of which there's just too many to count now. If events are your thing, then it's probably worth having a quick look at this and maybe bookmarking it for reference so you can refresh yourself on things not to do, basically. And also, there's one thing that is not here, but it should say there should be point 11. Don't go outside under any circumstances. Yeah, anyway. Right, put that one away and we'll move on. This is our friends at roadtovr.com. ROADTOVR.com. And XR Swim is a much needed centralized portal for discovering web XR experiences. Um, it seems I always feel the need every week to actually explain what WebXR is. XR is kind of AR, or augmented reality, plus VR, virtual reality, plus some others, and they all get grouped together as XR, extended reality or something, I suppose. XR Swim here is like a portal, and you can go and launch games, education, enterprise stuff, web, AR, entertainment experiments. It's basically, they've described it here as a centralized portal for things that are web XR, which means that in most cases you can actually just follow a web link, and the XR experience, whatever it is, be it a game or a meeting, will actually launch in your normal web browser, unless you've got a really antiquated web browser or indeed Microsoft Explorer of a certain generation. Um, it's based in the browser itself and easy to memorize all. xrswim.com, and it's just a centralized portal for finding places to go and things to take part in, as I say, from games right through to other stuff. Not much I can say beyond that. It Well, I think it's safe to say that it is not specifically pointing to sites that require, a full helmet and whatever. Largely because it is promoting and acting as a portal for stuff that is available on the web. And most things that you want to go to in your headsets tend to be particular apps that you launch inside the headsets, don't they? So anyway, this is XR Swim, and what was their role again? um, xrswim.com.
xrswim.com.
Yeah, that's all you need. There's
And
a number of sublinks for contributors and things, but yeah,
and that was a Road to
XR.
VR article, right?
Yes, yes, Road to VR. You can't
Hmm.
get quite all the logo in there. Yeah, roadtovr.com, and then the article's just called XR Swim Web XR Platform. Blah blah. You'll find it. You'll find it. April 16th is not a huge number of days ago. It's Ben Lang too, their main writer there. Okay, moving on, moving on. There we are. Oh, a nice picture to go with this one. The future of work in virtual reality. Well, this is immerseuk.org. They're working with HTC Vive with on virtual events. April 21st, 4 in the afternoon here in Britain. April 30th, same time, and May the 14th. First is remote work collaboration. Second, spatial design. The third is training the next workforce. You do actually have to RSVP, but to the best of my knowledge, we've got two events actually coming up. But to my best of my knowledge, this one is actually free. You simply have to get in touch with them and register, and it's going to be held in the Engage platform. Although there will, yeah, it is a free series of events. Um, you can go into the Engage platform for it, or you can watch via video stream. So whether you need to actually register to the video stream, I'm not sure. Anyway, you will find this at immerseuk.org. IMMERSEUK.org. And they've got quite a lot of other stuff on that site too. But that's what you want for those series of things. And since you're all stuck at home at the moment, I'm sure you're finding a couple of hours for that. It's not too hard. And actually, if you're in the States, for example, 4 p.m. In the afternoon here is actually 8 in the morning on the Pacific coast. So if you're in America, it's probably if you're really interested, you should be able to make that one. Okay, moving on. We're back on the same site we were on a minute ago, road2vr.com. And this is all about Music Lives or Music Lives. It's a virtual music festival that's coming to Quest and Go. When it says Quest and Go, it means the Oculus Quest and the Oculus Go headsets, and it will be free. And starting yesterday, or hang on, 17th. No, starting Friday, that would have been, wouldn't it? Who knows? Who knows? Um, this is not the benefiting music cares. This is not the famous gig that happened yesterday, and it's actually being shown in the UK here today, tonight, probably right now, actually. Bit slow. The BBC obviously want a chance to edit and censor it before showing it. Um, this is something else entirely anyway. It's free to watch, but it will help secure Music Cares and other charitable organisations that are providing COVID-19 relief funds. Um, the fact it works on the Oculus Go sounds rather good. That's a standalone headset, which is the cheap one. Not sure you can just go out and buy one at the moment. That would require leaving
Yeah, I
your
wonder.
premises, wouldn't it?
Right.
Um, Performances by J Balvin, Sway Lee, Anita, Big, Gigantic, and 50 other artists. Not that I've heard of any of them. Okay, you've got links here to the different parts of it and when it starts and stuff like that. For April 17th, we've missed, but the last two, one is today. Yeah, the last two are today's gigs, and presumably a good site to bookmark if you want news on more in the future. So, road2vr.com there, and the link will take you through to LiveX Live. And yep, the bookmark for this is livexlive.com. Live Live. There it is.
Nice.
Watch live now, and etc. etc. And I shouldn't really have pressed that because I'm going to be giving free airtime. Oh, look at this. He's got a wheelie. Oh, yes,
Oh,
there
now
they
I
are.
see it.
Bopping away. Yes. Nah, I prefer the Rolling Stones, thank you.
Oomch, oomch, oomch,
Actually,
oomch.
I was watching a DJ friend of mine on broadcasting on Facebook earlier. He'd been out for hours, but it's just a camera and he's just taking breaks. And if you tuned it at the wrong time, it's just an empty room. But he was mixing. Well, actually, he was doing a ambient sort
Fun
of chill
times.
out mix of based on the Doors. So big fan of the Doors, so I enjoyed that. Yeah. Anyway, let me get rid of that, or we won't get on to anything else, will we? So on that page. Right, this is the VR AR Association. Yes, very formal. a link to a Google Calendar if you want to put this in. This again is UK. It's an online meetup with presentations by Momo Labs, Poplar, and Body Swaps. Yes, indeed. This happens on Wednesday, April 29th, which is not this coming Wednesday. It'll be the Wednesday after, won't it? Again, 4 p.m. in the afternoon to 5 p.m. So it's the end of the working day in the UK. All of these things seem to be, although that time is fairly arbitrary and meaningless at the moment. The working day is whatever you want for
Yeah.
most people, and that's if they are working anyway.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but good to see a lot of this stuff sort of up here and ready, as it were. And I'm pretty sure I added it, but just in case I didn't, I'll save it again.
Oh, we get a
Look
look
at
on
me,
the
yeah,
inside, behind the scenes.
oh, behind the scenes in my calendar. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
indeed. Right. Okay. Um, no, how did I get here? Oh well. Right. Um, ScarredGhost.com. This is the weekly one from Scarred Ghost. SKARREDGHOST.com. And this is his weekly XR week peak. Yes. iPhone 12 gets a depth camera, Star VR1 is back to market, and much, much more. The top news of the week. Um, Literally, if you have any interest in the main stuff in virtuality and things like that, you are actually going to find most of it here in anything important in his roundup. Lots of it, of course, will be to do with hardware technology rather than software worlds and things like that. Um, yeah, some new VR support in Blender, and I think it was in this week's news, but I didn't load it today because I think we had it last week. That Unity has also got an XR export component that will
Mm-hmm.
work with things like Mozilla. Um,
Right.
Mozilla. That doesn't seem to be. Uh, Oh, look at them all. Yeah, a whole load of stuff. I'm not, I'm not going to read them all out. Scargaze.com is the one you want for last. Good site. Right, this is Hamlet Hall's site, New World Notes. Most of what you get on this site is to do with Second Life. Hamlet Hall, the author, was originally an embedded journalist paid by Linda Labs to be the embedded journalist inside Second Life. These days, he's independent, but he's still more or less devoted to the lab. This post was on Thursday. It was about a VR innovator seeking medical experts to help build out a multi user immersive information hub for battling the coronavirus. So, this is very much an appeal, right, to not just people in Second Life, but all over the metaverse, really. And this Arcadius, right? Um, well, the current, sorry, let's start again. The coronavirus VR information hub is a new space created inside Arcadius. That's ACADICUS,
Arcadius. It looks
which is
like this looks like Oculus.
right. I may well.
That's an Oculus style
Yeah. Oh.
avatar.
Oh. Oh. Yes. The picture. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. This is a multi-user VR-based teaching platform, and it was developed by a chap who we've covered many. In fact, he's been on our shows in the distant past. John Bouchard or Bouchoud, uh, Brouchoud, and he's an architect. In fact, what was it? No, Wikitecture, I think it was called. He created in Second Life. It was, anything to do with architecture and virtually, and he, like everybody else, he started his virtual architecture endeavors in Second Life before building his own platforms for particular things. When James says that looks like Unity, I'm rather sorry, Oculus.
Oculus. Yep.
I'm certain the screenshots probably are, and the world itself that he's in there is quite possibly built in Unity. I don't actually know. But as I said, this is interesting because it is an appeal. Basically, you don't need to be huge on building in VR for this. But what he in particular is looking for is medical experts, i.e., people who can help build out the information hub with all the necessary information and stuff like that. So let me. You can find this post. Hang on at New World Knows NW dot blogs dot com, and this is the site, the actual site for him too. So yes, Oculus Rift. There you go. You're right, James. Not Oculus Go, apparently. Um, okay, they set up the Arcadius room. Okay, and the overview contributors. Here we are. Access request. Yeah, I guess everything you would need to contact them is going to be there somewhere. So the main site here is Acadius.com. That's ACADICUS .com, and you can find
Oh,
contact
there's a C in there.
information.
Arcadicus.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Arcadicus. Yeah. What did I say? Did I miss out the C
Arcardi.
there? But, yeah, no me. Well,
Right.
I didn't bother look, did I?
Arcadia.
I said what I thought it sounded
Right.
like.
Right.
Oh dear, sorry about that, folks. Yes, yeah, Arcadius. There it is. Right there. No, I can't zoom in this. It's not a picture. Right. Okay. So, as I said, Arcadius.com. Right now, there've been a few Voices of VR, one of our favourite podcast sites this week. I say a few, actually, it probably is only half a dozen, and I only opened two, which seem to be relevant to us this week. This is the site here you want is Voices of VR, or one word, .com. Number 905 is looking at the platform VR chat, and it's about empowering the creativity of user-generated virtual worlds and avatars. And you can play it. You've got the timeline at the top there, but if you actually go to the site here, you can get a rough sort of a rough summary in case you don't have time to play it. As a podcast, it's available, through Spotify and all over the place, I think, or you can just download it from here as well.
Hmm.
So that was one of them, and right. This is the other one, which is number 906. It's about sound self and the technodelic manifesto. Using virtual reality to transform consciousness. I mean, this guy gets to cover everything. I tell you, I think there are about 20 of him. There've got to be. No one person could do this many interviews covering such a sphere of interest. I don't know. He must be I reckon he's a virtual being and he's cloned himself.
Oh, right. Virtual beings.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, Sound Self in the official's teaser. Anyway, yes, this is all about a program called Sound Self and using virtuality to transform consciousness. Um, I think the idea is you can use sound to put people in a state, a fugue state, whereby they're in an altered sense of consciousness without actually dropping any acid or whatever else. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, voicesofvr.com for those two. All right, let me go back up here. Introducing Reach. Yeah, well, the sign of the times, of course, there's a lot of people coming online but anxious to introduce themselves. Created by pioneers at Emblematic Group, I've heard of them.
Hmm.
Reach makes the immersive power of volumetric VR available to anyone. Simple drag and drop interface lets users place real people into high res 3D environments, then share the results back via a simple web link. Sign up now to become part of our growing community. And you can check out stuff they've done for the Sundance, and there's some more about us there. And of course, if you are interested, there's a form you can actually fill out there um, to get more. And yeah, emblematic. Step into the story, immersive, virtual, augmented, mixed reality. And hello.
Yeah. Hello,
No,
who?
sorry.
Oh.
I'm saying I got a little thing popping up on my screen which made it look like I could twirl the screen about, but nothing's happening.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so I said, hello. Nothing happening here. What was meant to happen was not exactly clear. Right. Mixed reality world. Now, I was talking about Mozilla hubs, which are web spaces. And this post is called Sharing Virtual Spaces is More Than a Headset. That is a little screenshot of the usual top halves that you get in places like Mozilla Hubs. The site you want here is blog.mozvr.com. MozVR is MOZVR, so blog.mozvr.com. And this one really is about sharing virtual spaces, and it's a lot more than just putting a headset on. In fact, in MozVR, you don't need to put the headset on. So there they are, I guess, a whole group of avatars looking at what looks like molecules or something. Who knows? Oh, and a good old pie chart, except I don't think it's a PowerPoint. Gosh golly. Right. So, yeah, Liv Erickson, she's one of the team there, in fact. So, yeah, I'll tell you more about what virtual
Those are
spaces
interesting
is.
avatars for Mozilla Hubs.
You can do a. I don't
Yeah.
think there's any. I don't think there's any lower parts of the body there, but you can. You can.
Have something a little
You
more
can customize
representational.
it, but I
Right.
think a lot of the customization for Mozilla Hubs requires you actually going following a link to an external program to make the avatar and then bring it back
Sure.
with you.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
And I think you have to cache that somewhere, probably on your own system,
Right.
because hubs that don't provide any kind of storage for regions or anything. Um, well, except presumably to their staff. But yeah, yeah, fairly presentable. I mean, plausibly quite filmable. If I mean, if you created a filming frame that actually chopped people off halfway down their stomach, bit like a newscast where you can't see below the waist, or put them behind a desk like we got here,
Right.
you might better get away with being legless. That was meant to be funny. Say ha ha, James.
Okay.
Legless, get it?
Oh,
Get it?
haha. Yes.
Yes,
Legless.
yes. A bottle of vino, two bottles of vino, three bottles of vino.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
you're
need
legless, aren't you?
I need more.
Yeah, I know. Legless for legless state for legless avatars.
Yeah.
What I say, more of it. I
Yep.
don't drink, but I'll let the others do that for
All
me.
right.
Right, VR focus. Sorry, they have an awful pop up there that gets in the way of everything. Right, this is www blah. VRfocus.com. So VRFOCUS.com. Victory XR to provide remote learning services through VR Education's Engage platform. Kids in the US will take virtual classes. Gosh golly, something new, eh? Thought they already could. Well, they already could, but whether they did is another matter. Right. So, yes, the current pandemic has massively influenced the way everybody lives their lives, etc. With those who can working from their home, while those who can't work at all. Yeah. It's the same for the education system, with parents now having to ensure their kids stay up to date thanks to schools creating home syllabuses. To aid this endeavour, US-based Victory XR, which creates virtual and augmented reality content for schools, has teamed up with VR Education to help provide remote learning services. And my guess is that's a teacher, not a student, but yeah, I might be wrong. Um, I shouldn't be looking at the photos. I should be reading the text, but I think that really said it all. Basically, everything else that herein follows is simply detail. So, if you're an educator or looking for enhancements to services you might now be providing online, etc., etc., maybe read up on here. This the Engage platform. It's the same one that HTC actually 5 used for the 5 ecosystem conference last month. Blah blah blah. They're obviously keen on promoting Fit2 SR here, but yep. Um, More education. It's all fun and games. Education and medical stuff. It rules the day these days, it seems. Right. Oh, God. Have I got to read that out? Right. This is a virtual reality reporter. Three words is one.com. And Perkins Coie's Force Augmented and Virtual Reality survey shows optimism increasing as immersive technologies enter the mainstream. Well, that says it all, really. I didn't know. Could have made a shorter sentence or something, but never mind. Their immersive technologies are moving beyond entertainment and are on track again to gain mainstream acceptance in a range of areas, including healthcare, yes, remote workforce training, and they don't mention it here, but education, as previous, is another obvious one. Um, so basically, according to this, um, which was the fourth annual Augmented and Virtual Reality Survey, gosh golly, conducted early this year by Perkins Coie, who are, of course, a leading industry group, um, in conjunction with XR Association and venture capital firm Boost VC. Yeah, well, anyway, they've been looking at it all and think, yes, it's going mainstream. I wonder why. Wonder why it's going mainstream all of a sudden. We'll find out, no doubt. Anyway, yes, that's virtualityreporter.com. Right, this one, right. This is www.td, the letters, .org. That's all there is. The TD in that stands for talent development. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they used to be ASTD. I remember I was a member of
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, and in fact, the at the top of the page there says ATD. So you've
Hmm.
got ASTD, then ATD, and now just TD.
They're just going to be A
Association.
someday.
Yeah, it's officially they're the Association for Talent Development,
Hmm.
and they're pretty lucky to get that website name. Easy to remember, td.org. Don't even need to read it out, really, do I? Yeah. Anyway, a remote. Sorry. VR learning environment will take remote learning to the next dimension. Once again, they're citing the pandemic as changing the way the world works, and the impact will last long after the virus, and teams shifting from the classroom to virtual, etc., etc. And the next generation of VR will be multi-user, etc., etc. So more reports. In a way, so many of these reports are all saying the same thing, but they're coming from different places, and different have different slants on it. It's okay saying, yeah, education is getting a boon. Ooh, blue box. No, kindly, I'm still here. Thank you. Ding dong.
Good
Thank you.
catch.
You will not be disconnected. Yeah, good catch. Accident, really. Right. Um, so a lot of the same is the same here, but of course, when you read stuff like this, there's so many different forms of education that you can be talking about schools, universities, I guess in America, high schools and lower schools, they've got different names from what we have here, um, and then specialist areas and things like that. So, it's worth for my while anyway to keep looking for all these posts because they're often coming at it from the same reasoning, but coming at it from a slightly different angle or
Hmm.
slightly different subject matter point of view. So anyway, this one is td.org, and they're also advertising at the top there. You can register for a virtual conference from June to 1st to the 5th. Um, in fact, I'll just click on that just in case there's anything useful for you while we're here. Yeah, there's the conference ads. Register now. This is virtualconference.gd.org. So same place basically. And yeah, they're telling you what you can expect from that in June. So that will be another conference that will be all online, thank goodness, and easy to get to. Presumably, if you qualify for it, I don't know. I'm not going to click on register and all the rest of it on air here.
Hmm.
Right, moving on. This is the site www.nationalobserver.com. So that's national and then observer, observer, but one word, nationalobserver.com. And this is their free coronavirus coverage. So it's not behind the paywall. You'll be glad to hear. Published April 14th, a couple of days ago, really. Um, expert VR research solutions. Um, these two chaps present their virtual reality solution. Yeah, that's what it's all about, basically. Evan Stidler and the company he co-founded are getting busy. Expert VR was working with a professor testing out virtual classroom yet again. And yeah, you've got a video done at home, obviously, from them. And yeah, um, more about it. And I believe, oh no, that's a donation thing of some sort, right? I thought that was a podcast. I almost pressed on it. Right. Yeah. Basically, a whole load of information about what Expert VR Team is up to, and they have grants and stuff like that. So again, nationalobserver.com, not a site I come across very often, but pertinent article. Right, back on to Seek XR's new teaching platform. Seek Education is free until June. I think we had another post on this, didn't I? I must have loaded two separate posts on this.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Okay,
No.
maybe I was just reading it before we came on air
Yeah.
then.
I don't recall it.
Okay, parents across the world are having to educate their children at home for the foreseeable future. And Victory XR is helping in that endeavour. And they've launched it. No, we did look at this. It was
Okay.
Victory
Okay.
SR XR on the other post, and the product is called Seek XR.
Okay.
The company behind it is Victory XR, and yeah, I guess you can use XR to look at things like that. That's augmented reality, I think, because it's on a tabletop. Yeah, I think. I can't tell.
Can't tell.
So you can't tell. Such is the world today. Um, don't think that's real somehow. And they got a little blurb on YouTube about themselves too. So vrfocus.com is where you want to go to for that particular article. And xrcollaboration.com. So it's xrcollaboration.com. XR Collaboration is the new reality. So go get the guide. And you click on there, and you do actually have to send them your email address and everything else to actually download the guide. Oh, and I've gone and closed it out. Well, anyway, you got that's really all there was to it there. Okay, this is immersive.ly. So it's immersive.ly. And let me get here. Basically, this is a guide to VR and AR thingies, basically. And there's no one article here for me to promote, but as you can see, there are various different articles, and they've grouped them all together on this page. The technology articles on the impact and Swedish. I guess they're in Sweden because they've got a special section on Sweden. But anyway, a load of different articles there to do with AR and VR. They're not all published at the same time. For example, that's dated April 7th, but that's this one's December last year. So but they've collected them all together. So that's rather nice. Immersive.ly. Right. Not much new on this. This is a site for virtualrealityreporter.com. Three words all as one. And it's about the ETX Tronica, the launch of the new generation haptic controller. I'm just going to skim by this. You can follow my links via twitter.com/malbones if you want. We did actually cover this last week when a couple of other people reported on it. They're a new style of hand controller, basically,
Mhm.
that it's an all-finger VR controller for proximity touch, gesture, and pressure sensing. High definition haptics, basically. Right, so as I say, we'll move on since we covered that before. This is an article at Medium, I do believe. Yes, it's at medium.com. And as usual with Medium, you can't see any link other than medium.com. Um, So, as a chap called Marco Gillies, if you go to my thing on Twitter, then twitter.com/Malbones, you can click straight through to this page. Otherwise, best of luck. You better go to Medium and see if you can find it. Um, it's just an argument of VR versus video conferencing, really. You've got the obvious picture, which manages to mix both concepts together. I'm not sure about these avatars. I think I preferred the photograph. I mean, the video, but never mind.
Yeah, those are
The
Mozilla.
author,
Yep.
yeah, the author was writing this a couple of weeks into the UK's lockdown. And it was his first chance to step back and think and write after 2 very hectic weeks of adjusting to teaching and research online. And to be honest, a very hectic 6 months for other good reasons. Um, so anyway, he's looking at all sorts of other things: Skype, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Big Blue Button, whereby Discord, WhatsApp, WeChat, and others. Mozilla Hub, Space, Rec Room, VR Chat, Big Screen, and others. And I suspect it's only a small subset of what's around that is actually looked at. But anyway, he's drawing the pros and cons of using VR versus video conferencing. And there are cons. I mean, I would say use VR. As a rule, because it is more empowering, your sense of presence and collaboration and what you can do. But obviously, there are good reasons to use things like Zoom and video conferencing too, if that's actually all you need is face-to-face gabbing, so to speak. Anyway, you will find that post at Medium, and a chap called Marco Gillies is the author of that, so you might actually find it easier to link to him. Okay, moving on. This site is Virtualiteach. Right, I'm going to have to spell that.
Hmm.
www for a starter. Virtualiteach. It's sort of a virtual and teach with an I in the middle sort of thing. But it's confusing because you think it says virtual reality. Never mind, never mind. I spelled it. There you are.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get the logo up for you, but anyway, I spelled it for you and it's on Twitter. This is about 7 key barriers to VR adoption in schools. Again, we're looking at education, particularly in schools, as opposed to any other type of institution. And this is really about the barriers to adoption. Um, this is a current article. I think the article is relevant in the modern times anyway, but I think the attitude here is that there are barriers to VR adoption in schools, and he's still the author is still writing as if the physical stills schools are still there for and looking for VR integration in their buildings or classrooms, as it were. Whereas the argument now is VR for schools at home, I would think. But anyway, interesting teach there. Virtuali teach basically was that. I'm going to do that again, but VIRTUALNITEACH. And if in doubt, go to twitter.com/Malbones and click on the link. Yes, easy as that. Right. Nearing the end of this bit. Anyway, um, this is DWCom. DW is not that is not Design World. This is it's something else, but I can't see it. Oh yeah, DW Made for Minds. Oh well. Yeah, the website is www.dw.com, and then you can always do a /en for English, which is obviously where this post is. Your next business meeting could be inside a VR headset. So we've had education, we've had medicine, we've had viruses and everything else. And now it's the turn of your next business meeting being inside one of those contraptions. And the tag here on this picture says woman wearing a VR headset. This is really like one of those really bad comic books where the caption says the same thing as the picture. Anyway, no, go figure. Um, Actually, I think that's a tag for browsers without pictures. So
Yeah.
maybe
Yep.
I'm being a bit naughty when I
Yeah, a
say
little
that.
bit. Right.
But it's still it shouldn't show the tag at all. Basically, if I
Right.
can shows me the picture, yeah. Right. Do you remember the release of first generation iPhone in 2007? Oh, yeah, Papa. The XR revolution is on its way, and that's where you're going to have your business meeting. In fact, you really already should be. Video calls are old technology. Soon, I don't know why it says soon instead of now, conferences meetings will be held in 3D because it's already the new norm. It's
Hmm.
um, it's not as soon. It's here and has to be here. More to
It's
the point. Right, moving on. This is the final link in this section. Has COVID-19 boosted interest in VR? Here is the analysis. That is a really informing graphic, isn't it? What the hell does it mean? It's the same.
purple meets green. I'm not quite sure.
uh, well, the background maybe. Yeah, I don't know. It's the same icon. Maybe that's the space between us. Maybe that's meant to be 2 meters or
Right.
something.
That
I
could
don't
be
know.
right.
Who knows? Okay, so this is really a little bit of analysis. The site is www.virtualperceptions.com. So virtual perceptions is 2 words as well. Well, I'll spell it for you. virtualperceptions.com. Virtualperceptions.com. And how affecting the supply of VR, meeting higher demand for headsets, other reasons for rising sales, boosted interests, etc., etc. Um, so, um, general interest bit of, as he says, analysis there, should you want it. Right, now, that is all I have there, but I'm just going to quickly have a look. All the links I've talked about there, you can find at twitter.com/malburns. And as I mentioned, we do have another feed at twitter.com/Metaworld News, and or one word, of course. And I've just got a few things. Oh, actually, I've got more than a few things this week by the look of it. What's the date? April 9th. No, we're past that. April 11th. Yeah, 6 days ago. Here we are. Okay. Oh, that wasn't very clever, was it? Ah, back. I just. Oh no, I'm in the wrong. Oh shit. Sorry, I'm just gonna. I've hit the wrong button here and I've completely lost my listings, but I'll be back in just that's it. Here we go now. Right, okay, so 2 days, 4 days, 5 days. Good grief. Right, we have a lot here. This is most unusual. Right, April 11th. What was today again? 19th, wasn't
19.
it? Right.
Yep.
Right, 6 days ago. Um, we have a YouTube here, which is linked to. Oh, that's last week's show, so I do know where we are. Well, that was
That looked
good, wasn't it?
familiar. Right.
Right, we're in the right place for the beginning of the week, right? Okay, Chaos Princess Net. Right, this is well a regular, a wonderful lady from Germany here. Was in High Fidelity. She's now she's now well, she's still in High Fidelity, but in the form of she's been running lockdown dance parties in which one is it here? I'm not quite sure. There are actually two kind of
There's
different platforms that
Vercadia,
are
right?
there's Arcadia, yeah,
Yeah.
and there's the other one. I think this may be. I think this is possibly Arcadia. Oh no, it's not. It's the other one. It's Tivoli Cloud VR.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, as you can see, you've got all the information here, including where you can download um, the interface for Tivoli. You can still use the high fidelity interface browser to get to these, but the addresses are somewhat different from what they used to be. So good lockdown stuff going there. And she's built a virtual rave club where they're hoping to welcome a massive crowd on April 25th. That's barely, well, it's about a week away for Criosolis's Electro Tunes. Anyway, if you want more about this, you want chaosprincess.net. Um, and chaos is spelled rather odd. It's pronounced chaos, but it's actually spelled XAOS Princes, and lovely lady as well. Does a lot of building as well. So that's a plug for that. Let's see. Right. Oh, this showing virtual space is more than a headset. That's actually a duplicate.
Hmm.
That's a duplicate. We already had that on the other feed. Um, Alt Space VR. Right, the actual website here is altvr.com, altvr.com. It's their blog, and they're announcing that they've done a modest makeover to their moderation settings and better messaging and better event reporting, etc., etc. More and more people using AltSpace VR, um, sort of oblivious to things like ownership or whatever. So find that altvr.com, as I said, for that one. Um, Okay, news from kitely.com, which ironically
Oh,
is the very place we're actually broadcasting news from
oh,
today,
interesting.
our little
Right.
studio here. Um, Kitely were closed for a couple of hours during the week where they've been upgrading their database infrastructure, and they've migrated to an Amazon system called Aurora Serverless, which means they're capable of scaling up automatically when necessary and scaling back down when additional resources are no longer required. And the behavior is described as ideal for supporting very large events. And yeah, Kitely, in fact, just after the show, or about now actually, they have their regular meeting with Ilan, their CEO, here in Kitely today, quite literally. But yeah, this is quite a major back end update. But they were down on April 17th for about 6 hours, which is I have been on open, to do an update like that. I know some grids that would have been down for 6 months, not six
Right.
hours. So yeah, basically it's all about scaling. So you'd find the news about that at www.kitely.com, kitely.com, and yeah. What's the next one? Oh, right. This is another one that's repeated from Malburn's. It's the XR Swim business. Okay, Austin Tate's blog. Here we are. Great fun here. I think there's two this week from Austin. Um, blog dot inf dot ed dot ac dot uk. So blog inf ed ac as an academic dot uk. You need to be
Don't
able to read
choke.
this. Yeah, you need to read that out, don't you? Right. Twitter.com/MetaWorld News if you need a click through here. Um, Okay, this is actually it refers back to a Hypergrowth Safari post on May the 11th back in 2018, but
Hmm.
in fact, this is a separate post from yesterday. Another fine virtual world built by Fred Beckhausen and his team, and recreating ancient Egypt, specifically Alexandria in 30 BC. It's on the Outworlds grid, and it's in the Alexandria region. It's a 4x4. Um, what var? It's not a mega region, big anyway. And there's some pictures to go with it, and a little video they filmed as well. Um, showing it you. So that's news from the Hypergrid, great destination if you've got any OpenSim based world that you may be a member of. Almost certainly 99% of them actually have access to the hypergrid, which means you can log into whatever world you belong to and you can jump via the hypergrid to any of these other locations. And the location for this one, as you can see, is Outworlds.com 9000 Alexandria, blah blah. The way to actually teleport to another grid is simply to copy that address and then paste it into the map and click find, and then it will give you the thing to teleport to. All very easy when you know how, all very difficult if you don't know what I'm talking about. Right. Um, Claims kindness as well. Right. Okay. We're back to altvr.com. Um, right. Okay. This link has taken me to account.altvr.com. AltVR is altvr.com and then slash channels. There's a channel here. There are lots of channels at AltVR, to be honest. But this is a channel called Get Social in Virtual Spaces. And I linked or rather posted this because most of these are about social sort of activities in virtual spaces in AltVR. But considering it's just sort of one space. There's quite a lot of events going on here. So, um, rise of virtual beings, blockchain stuff, women in XR, VR community workshops. Let's speak Japanese. Well, if you really want to, that is. World Builders meeting for world builders. Rise of virtual beings again. Basically, quite a few different things taking place during the week. Get social, women in XR, let's speak, and gender talks. So, just a link really to find what you want there. You can't see it, but outside the frame at the top of this, there's a link to Altspace VR events. So you can actually follow from this page to a lot of other event categories as well. Okay, put that one away. Um, okay. Um, Fairly recent news, which we've already covered, but Linden Labs, purveyors of the original Second Life platform, had a new platform called Sansar, but they've sold it. But it's carrying on under new owners with a sort of independent direction now. And you can actually go to the website events.sansar.com. So that's events.sansar.com. And you can get a roundup of events that are happening in the new improved or well, it's a new look. Sounds like it actually doesn't look very different either, but it's
Hmm.
new under new ownership is what I should be saying. And as you can see, there's quite a few events there. Um, Sansa does have quite a few fans, many of which are either still in or have migrated there from Second Life, even though it's not the huge platform that Second Life was. Some of the events that actually take place there are actually manned and promoted by people who may be familiar to you if you've ever been in Second Life for those kind of things. Right, put that one away. And yeah. Oh, yes, another one from the one I really don't want to read out blog.inf.ed.ac.uk. Austin Tate again with yet another recommended link and another Outworlds grid called Hobbiton,
Hmm.
which looks very much like the Hobbit,
Yep.
sort of Hobbiton-y thingy stuff, really, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Even got a video there. So it's all based on the Hobbiton collection created by David Denny. Um, oh, uh, okay, it says, right, it says exclusive sim just for Dream Gridders to use. I presume you can just teleport into Dream Grid and once you're there you can use it. It's very nice looking, I must say, from those little photos. Lots of photos, come I think of it. Anyway, so that is recommended too at Austin Tate's blog. You'll find the link at, of course, twitter.com um, slash Metaworld News. And one final link from that very site. Save the best for last, don't we?
Yes.
It's from Hypergroup Business,
Oh, okay.
but guess James just I'll give you three guesses. What do you think this could possibly be?
I can't help but think of yo-yos for some reason.
You've been cheating, haven't you? Yes.
No, no, not at all.
You haven't. Well, you bang on.
I know it's a good one.
Abbey Worlds reopens under new ownership. Yes, it went down again and up and yo 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 yo. Yep,
Yeah, yeah.
bounce, yo yo. Right, Maria Kovalov, our good friend Maria Kovalov, is still credited as my co-host on this show at the beginning, if you've ever noticed. Apparently, old Popolopsy, sorry, let me be polite here. Alexandro Popo Selly has confirmed that he sold it, Avi Labs and Avi Worlds, and he sold it to somebody called Josh Boam, who's also purchased the domains. Now, Josh Boam is a very familiar name too, so I don't know whether he's also a bouncy person. Um, Avi Labs, as Pompous says, attempted starting an open sim hosting company, never gained any traction, possibly because his flagship grid had a public history of outages, closures, and scandals. Hey, Papa says, I've had a good run with Abbey Wills over 10 years now. As you can see, I've tried everything and more to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Truth is, if I had more experience when I first started Abbey Wills, I would have made better decisions. And Joss has convinced me that perhaps it's time for a change. So, anyway, it's now under new ownership. We don't really, as you can see, the new ownership has solid plans. And Maria does point out that it has been sold once before, which resulted in fighting when Papa Say decided he regretted it and wanted it back. So I think she's being polite there, just wishing, hoping that it doesn't happen again. But anyway, officially, Pomposelli no longer houses Abbey Worlds, and it's now in the hands of somebody called Josh Boom. If you want to read more about this, go to hypergridbusiness.com. That's hypergridbusiness.com. And yep, it's it's filed under Yo-Yo News. That's an in joke for those of you who might know what
We've
I'm
gotten a
talking
lot of
about.
mileage out of that, haven't we?
We have over the years, over
Mm-hmm.
time, yeah,
Yeah.
we really have got a lot of mileage out of the
In
yo-yo
our
grid.
in our role
We
as
have
pundits.
had, yeah, we have actually had Alex Pomposelli, I never know what I'm pronouncing it now, on our companion show, the In World Review.
Yeah.
I think twice with him. I mean, he's actually a very nice guy,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and he talks well, and I think probably fairly idealistic and just probably impatient. And it just seems to me that it was up and down, and never really got a chance to stabilize. And you can't just because it doesn't work out within a week, you can't just change your model and try again. Things don't work out that way. But anyway, we'll see what the future holds there as far as
Yeah.
that is concerned. So, James, over to you. Any thoughts on that marathon of whatever?
Gosh, I all I know is that I would not want to run a grid. I don't think I could handle. I don't think I could handle the complexities of doing that. I can barely keep my computer running in my house. So
Oh,
doing something that people were dependent on, I think, is a pretty demanding
you know,
thing.
I'm finding that too. Coming over here to the workstations and booting them up, I can still do stuff, but the speed and things. I haven't taken the back off and plugged in new cards into anything for ages. It's
Hmm.
almost like I just can't face up to all that anymore. I mean,
No.
20 years ago, I would have loved doing all this
Right.
sort of stuff.
Right.
Taking things apart and boosting them and putting them together. Now I just want them to work, and more and more often the problems aren't the computers; it's the bloody operating systems that are running them
Yeah.
that seem to think that they can boss us around instead of providing something we can use
Oh, and
for our own devices.
the popular press has really not been happy with Microsoft this month. It's
Well, I haven't been happy with Microsoft this decade, so
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Well, actually, it's a new decade, I should say,
Yeah. Right. Right.
for 10 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, Microsoft have been, it's the usual calamity. I think it's really hitting home at the moment that
Well,
Windows will bring
people
an
have to have their
update out.
computers at home to work. Yeah.
Yeah, and Windows will bring out an update that instead of updating breaks everything.
Right.
And then people who are now stuck in their house and can't go out are reliant on that operating system to do what they normally do, and it doesn't work anymore.
Right.
It's no wonder Microsoft are in the SHIT,
Are
as it
they?
were. Well, I say, well, they've been swimming in that stuff for 10 years or more.
Yeah.
No, when did it? 95, let's say. Yeah, 25 years of micro shite, as the expression goes. That's how long we've had to suffer that stuff
But
on our computers.
we're not a Windows program. We're not a computer
We're not.
program. We're virtual
Well,
program.
We're not a Windows fan, really. We're
Right.
a Mac fan, but we just have to use. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of that. I'm still on there. I better be careful. Right. Yeah. So yeah, quite a bit there too.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we've been. Oh no, we started an hour late, so we've only been on an hour, haven't we?
Yep.
Okay. Well, folks, I hope that satisfied your lust for learning, news-wise, this week. We will be back same time, same place next week
Oh,
with
you
more of
mean
the
we're going to do
same.
this again?
Yeah. In fact, if we could promise not to rabbit on for an hour beforehand and forget that we were meant to be on air.
That was unusual, right?
That was different because it feels like we've been on for 2 hours, even though we've actually been only on the real thing for an hour. We had an hour. We had an hour, an hour show all by ourselves before we
Right.
came on air. So it's actually 2 hours, if you see what I mean. But anyway, what the hell? What the hell? Yes, we will do it again if the world is still here.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? I mean, viruses are viruses. All it will take is another coronavirus. Maybe there'll be something called an MS COVID.
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah, then we really will be in the
In the fire.
in whatever yeah whatever word I've been avoiding using
From
is
the frying pan to the fire, right?
out of the frying pan into the fire.
Right.
Yes, coronavirus shut down. There we are. That's because we're going to shut down. Oh, hang on, but we got any? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Anecdotal for the ending. Here's a quote I found in the week on Facebook or somewhere.
Are you showing it on screen? Oh, just a second. Okay, got it. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, I thought that was quite funny. And another one for the flat earthers. After all, most virtual reality platforms are flat earthers, aren't we?
Oh, that typeface
Uh,
is tiny. Yeah, there you
yeah,
go.
doing a bit of
Better.
zooming in here. Yeah. Flat earthers fear 2 millimeter social distances could push some people over the edge. Well,
News at
that's
seven.
that's that's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, tune in for film at seven. We'll cover that one.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well we've left you with a bit of anecdotal humour. We need a bit of it, don't we?
Yeah.
As I said, Kitely is having its regular weekly meeting because I've got the IM in my window right now. Familiar, I'm saying he's actually trying to teleport me. Naughty, naughty, ask me. Yeah. Anyway, so same time, same place, or something like that. On air at least, same time next week. And hope you've enjoyed this week. So for the moment, it's goodbye from this bloke.
And it's goodbye from this bloke. Wait, that didn't
Or
work
actually,
right.
that bloke.
That bloke.
This bloke and that bloke. That
Yep.
means both blokes who are actually us.
We think we're us. We might have to
until
we might have to
until we think.
reconsider that.
Yeah. Well, oh God, I was reading about the nature of time earlier today,
Oh
and my
yeah, yeah.
take on it. Well, I mean, I've always said there is no present.
Right.
You know, it's a momentary, fleeting moment on the cusp of the past and the future.
Welcome today
And
in Buddhism.
yeah, well, therefore there is no actual. Oh God, I was going to turn that into an exit line, and I've forgotten how I was going to do
Oh,
it. Never
okay.
mind, never mind. We will be back in the future, and it won't be the present when it arrives. It will actually be the past. But while we're doing it, it will be a bit in the past and a bit in the future. But there won't be any such thing as a present. Although you could consider it to be a holiday present from us. Totally,
You've totally lost James.
I've
All right.
totally disrupted the meaning of it all, haven't I? Goodbye for now. Right? Have a little bit of a laugh on us, and we'll see you next week from the two of us. Bye bye.